Hi, I'm Chris McLaughlin, and today we're going to write together. But before we start, I just want to take 3 deep breaths. As always, we're going to let out any stresses that we've got going on in our lives. We're going to let out, any negativity, that kind of thing, and it's just really good for us as well, get a bit of oxygen in our lungs. So, if you feel comfortable, we're going to take 3 deep breaths, so close your eyes, if you feel comfortable. And we're going to breathe in and out. And in and out and in and out. Great stuff. Open your eyes. Cool. Right, so today's prompt is the word spark. I've been thinking about the word spark. I think it can lead to a lot of interesting places. I think you could write about, you get spark from an ember or like a fire kind of thing, or you can have the spark of an idea or a spark of electricity. And I think with that's interesting because when 2 people connect a lot, they have a spark. There's lots of different ways you can take it. So as always, take it any way you want. Anything you write is perfect. If you want to write a poem, go for it. It doesn't have to rhyme, as I always say. Poetry doesn't have to rhyme. If you want to write a short story or a journal, do a little journal entry about how you're feeling today, that's perfect. Or as always, if you just want to do a little scribble, get a couple of words down, a doodle, a painting, whatever you want. Everything is literally perfect. All we're here to do is self-express a little bit and, let a bit of our thoughts and feelings out. There's no judgment here. So, if you feel comfortable, grab your pen and paper or open a new Word document, whatever you feel comfortable writing with. And we're going to write for 7 minutes. So, have I set up a timer? I haven't. There we go. So we're going to write for 7 minutes, as I said. So, when you feel comfortable, we're going to start writing now. And you're about halfway through. And you've got about 1 minute left. And if you start finishing the line or the thought that you're on, cool. Awesome. Well done. Amazing. You're writing all the time. This is amazing. Right, we're going to take 3 more deep breaths. Just let out anything that maybe come up in that writing that we don't want to carry with us. So if you're comfortable, close your eyes. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths. So we're going to breathe in and out. And in and out. And in and out. Amazing. Cool. So, as always, I'd love to read anything that you've written. I love reading them. Thank you so much for posting your lines in the comments below. Anyone who has. Anyone who hasn't, that's not a big deal either. Sometimes you want to look after your writing. Sometimes you want to keep it to yourself. That's okay. There's no pressure here. But if you feel comfortable and you'd like to share some lines, I'd love to read what you've written. I'll read you what I've done on Spark. So, today I wrote, it's that jolt, the live wire between our eyes that tells us we're alive. You bite your lip, I cross my arms, and then uncross my arms, and then put my hands in my pocket. I tell you, and then hands out of my pocket, because I never know where hands should go. You say, but the door slams, someone comes in, and the bubble's about to break, but neither of us look away. I'll just put this here then, the interrupting stranger says, a small smile on both our lips. I tell a dumb joke, the kind you repeat to yourself days later in the shower while thinking, why the hell did I say that? But you laugh anyway. A light tap on my arm as you move closer, the current running up my spine, a frozen moment in time. I scratch my head like a flea-ridden gorilla, and you sweep your hair back like as graceful as a glass ballerina. And when a friend asks the group later that night in the pub, if you could teleport anywhere, where would you go? Someone says Fiji, and someone else says London so I could avoid the tube. And I say, nothing. But I do think of that moment, frozen in time, with you. Cool. Cool. So, I've gone red. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks for taking part. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you had fun. I'm really enjoying these, and I'm really enjoying everything that you're showing me or showing each other, and it's just wonderful. I love writing, and I love hearing your writing, so thank you for... you make these infinitely better just by taking part, so thank you. That's all to say, other than, as always, I just want to remind you, just in case no one's reminded you recently, that you are enough. Alright. Alright, have a good day.